ক্লাস 11 এর ফার্স্ট সেমিস্টারের ডাফ অ্যান্ড ডাটের কোশ্চেন বান্স থেকে দ্য সেকেন্ড কামিংয়ে এমসিকিউ এর পার্ট 1 আমি তোমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করব। প্রচুর এমসিকিউ এখানে রয়েছে। আর যারা যারা ডাফ অ্যান্ড ডাটের এই পিডিএফগুলো অ্যান্সার সহ পিডিএফ পারচেস করতে চাইছো অনেকেই আমাকে কমেন্ট করেছো। আর যারা যারা পিডিএফ পারচেস করতে চাও এই ভিডিও ডেসক্রিপশন বক্সে যে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার দেওয়া হচ্ছে সেখানে তোমরা যোগাযোগ করতে পারো। আর যদি তোমাদের মনে হয় যে ক্লাস 11 এর কমপ্লিট সাজেশনের পিডিএফ তোমরা পারচেস করবে তার জন্যও কিন্তু তোমাদের হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে কন্ট্যাক্ট করতে হবে। তো প্রথমটা রয়েছে দ্য পোয়েম দ্য সেকেন্ড কামিং ইজ রিটেন বাই W.B. Yeats. The title The Second Coming has been taken from the Bible. What is the central theme of the Second Coming? The cycle of history and chaos. Which historical event influenced Yeats to write The Second Coming? World War I. এটা পোয়েমটা পড়ানোর সময় আমি তোমাদের বলেছি। What imagery does Yeats use in The Second Coming? All of this. Natural cycle, biblical allusion, animal symbolism, সবকটাই হবে। What is the central theme of the poem? The collapse of an era. Which literary movement does The Second Coming belong to? Modernism. How does Yeats describe the state of the world in the poem? As chaotic and turbulent. The expression turning and turning in the widening gyre refers to the cyclical nature of history. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. What does gyre mean in The Second Coming? A circular or spiritual motion. As a result of the rapid motion, the things fall apart. Natural turning and turning as a result of this, all of this hobe. The spiral is widening, things fall apart, the central cannot hold. Things fall apart, the central cannot hold. In this line, the poet indicates the total collapse of values and tradition. What is loosed upon the world? Mere anarchy. What kind of tide, according to the poet, dims the vision? Tide of blood. What ceremony is downed? Ceremony of innocence. Who lack conviction? The best. What do the best lack? Conviction. Oaths are full of passionate intensity. What is at hand? Second coming. Hardly are those words out. What are referred to as those words? Spiritus Mundi. What happens as soon as the words second coming are uttered? A vast image out of Spiritus Mundi travels his sight. What travels his sight? Answer ki hobe a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi. The vast image is seen in the sand of desert. The body of the beast like image is that of a lion. The head of the image is that of a man. While all about it real shadows, what are the shadows of desert birds? 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare. 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. What does the phrase "the falcon cannot hear the falconer" suggest? The communication between the falcon and the falconer has disrupted. Which of the following beast describes the falcon? A bird of prey. What is the primary role of a falconer? To train and hunt with falcons. What does the falcon represent? Chaos and disorder. Disorder বানানটা এখানে ভুল আছে, DIS হবে। What does the falcon symbolize? The Christians. Falconer symbolize the Christians. What does the line "think fall apart, the central cannot hold" signify? The collapse of traditional values and structure. What is meaning of fall apart? Lose cohesion. What does the center primarily represent? A metaphor for consciousness of society. What does the phrase "mere anarchy loose upon the world" signify? The emergence of chaos and disintegrity. What does anarchy mean? Anarchy means chaos and disorder. What does loosed upon means? Released. The expression "mere anarchy is loosed upon the world" suggests a complete breakdown of societal order. What does the phrase "blood-dim tide is loosed and everywhere" primarily signify in the poem? The spread of violence, chaos and disorder throughout the poem. What is the fate of the innocence? It is lost and destructed. What does the phrase "the ceremony of innocence is drowned" suggest? The innocence is corrupted. What does innocence mean? Lack of understanding. What does the drowning of the ceremony of innocence symbolize? The end of a social order and tradition. Who are the best referred to in the line "the best lack all conviction"? Answer ki hobe the people with highest moral character and virtues. What does the best lack in the poem? The power of conviction in driving action. What does the line the best lack all conviction while the worst are full of passionate intensity signify? The prevalence of existentialism in society. Who are the worst referred to in the poem? People of low moral character. What image be the consequence of the worst being full of passionate intensity as suggested by the line? They cause chaos and destruction. What does the speaker imply by using the word surely in the line? Certainty. What tone does the speaker convey in the line? Surely some revelation is at hand. Optimism. What does the line surely some revelation is at hand contribute to the theme of the poem? It symbolizes the return of a historical figure. In the line surely the second coming is at hand, what does second coming refer to? The return of a religious figure. What does the phrase at hand imply in the line? Immediacy. What is the meaning behind the phrase the second coming in the poem, the return of Jesus Christ? What event is being described as hardly are those words out in the second coming? The return of a messianic person. What does the term second coming typically refer to? The return of a religious figure. What does spiritus mundi refer to in the poem? The collective unconsciousness. How does the speaker feel on encountering the image of spiritus mundi? Confused. What imagery is associated with the spiritus mundi? A spiral vortex. What does spiritus mundi represent in the poem? Hope. What was the speaker's reaction to the revelation of spiritus mundi? Awful. What is the primary sense being troubled by the line troubles my sight somewhere in sands of desert? এটা হচ্ছে sight. Next পরেরটা হচ্ছে what does the term sands of desert suggest? Illusion of power. What expression best aligns with the meaning of the line troubles my sight somewhere in the sand of desert? The speaker is haunted by a traveling memory. What historical image is similar to the one described in the second coming? The phoenix. What is the primary emotion evoked by the line? A shape with lion body and the head of a man. It is fear. What does the lion body's human heads creature symbolize in the poem? Chaos and disorder. What theme is central to the poem The Second Coming? The inevitability of change. Inevitability of change. মানে পরিবর্তন হবেই, বা এটা হতে পারে the destruction of a civilization. What does the line a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun represent in the poem? Destruction. What image of the sun we get from the line a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun? A feeling of uncertainty and fear. What does the word pitiless mean in the line a gaze blank and pitiless in the sun? এটা হচ্ছে cruel. নেক্সট ভিডিওতে পরের যে MCQ গুলো আছে সেগুলো শেয়ার করব। দেখা হবে নেক্সট ভিডিওতে। টিল দেন।